Hey guys, so welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the ABCs in Spanish and the sounds of the letters in Spanish. So, why do we need to learn the alphabet? Is the same answer to that question would be applicable in English, right? The Spanish alphabet is important if you want to know how to properly pronounce the words when speaking Spanish, and if you want to be understood when speaking Spanish as well. So it's not just speaking because you're speaking for speaking's sake, but you want, in order for effective communication, you want the other person to understand what it is that they're saying. So for that to happen, you need to know how to pronounce the words in a way that would make sense to their brain, right? And also, there are a lot of similarities between the English alphabet and the Spanish alphabet, but there are some very, very important differences. And these differences could actually make or break a pronunciation in Spanish. But the good thing is that once you get the hang of these differences, they're automatically gonna sound more Spanishy, to put it like that, when you speak, right? So let's look at the alphabet. And in brackets, you're gonna see like the approximate English pronunciation, but that's not how you actually write the word, it's just a pronunciation to help you to kind of get the hang of the sound, right? So first we have A, B, C, Che, so we actually have an extra letter there in the alphabet. CH in Spanish is our alphabet, is our letter, sorry. De, right? So D is pronounced again like a TH, so it's de. A, like the English A, F, F, G, G, H, H, E, like the English E, right? So I in Spanish is the English E sound. Then we have J, J, K, K, L, L, but then we have the double L, right? This has two main pronunciations, right? Actually, there are three, but one is only used in Argentina and Nicaragua, so we're not even going to pay attention to that too much, right? So you could either say AJ or AY, AY, AJ or AY. So personally, I use AJ because that's what most of Venezuela and Colombia uses. M, M, N, N, Enye, Enye. So this is a different letter again that does not exist in the English alphabet. And for this one, I would say a good cue is to think about onion. That neon in onion is kind of the sound. It's not the exact sound, but it's close to the enye sound in Spanish, right? O, P, Q, Q is Q. Then we have some of the two of the most troublesome letters in Spanish, generally for English speakers, which is ere, the single R, ere, and then ere, ere. So a tip I like to give with the single R is to think about how North Americans say their double T's. So for example, better, they will say, how would they pronounce that? Better, better, that T sound that they use is kind of like a D sound. That is the R sound in Spanish. So better, just the same, if you could pay attention to what the tongue is doing when you do that. Better, that's the same R sound, the single R sound, right? The double R, however, you have to roll it down. So that's the longer, as we would say, the trilled R, right? S, S, T, T, U, that's U, B. So you'll notice that V and B have the same sound pretty much. So that's why if you hear a Spanish speaker speaking English, sometimes they mix words up like that. So instead of saying violin, they would say violin, violin, because the V and the B is the same sound pretty much in Spanish, right? So, or very good, very good. You hear that as well, right? Then we have doble V. So doble V. In English, we say double U, two U's together. In Spanish, we say double V, two V's together because of the shape of the word, right? The letter, sorry. In English, double U. In Spanish, double V, which makes more sense, to be honest, right? X, X, and then we have Y, which is either J, like the English J, or Y. X is X, so X is X. Then Y, we have two options. We have J or Y. It depends on which part of the world you're from. Both will be understood, but I personally use J because, again, that's what Venezuelans and Colombians mostly use. And then we have Zeta. Z is Zeta. So that's the alphabet. But now I just want to focus on the sounds of the vowels, because this is the most important part of the alphabet, in my opinion, right? The sounds of the vowels. So in English, there are 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, and U. Just like in Spanish, we have those same 5 vowels. However, unlike English, we only have 5 vowel sounds in Spanish. That is A, E, I, O, and U. So A, E, I, O, and U are the only 5 vowel sounds that exist in Spanish. English has about 20 different sounds that you can get from those 5 vowels, right? So in terms of pronunciation, it's way easier to pronounce words in Spanish than it is in English, because you read a word and it is what it is. You don't have to guess the pronunciation once you know how the letter sounds, as we would have gone through, right? We went through the alphabet, we're going through the sounds now. So these are the 5 vowel sounds in Spanish, and in the next video, we're going to talk about the consonant sounds. So see you then.